Hello, and welcome to the Will County Community Mental Health Board podcast. My name is Tina Mackey, and I'm the Executive Director. Mental Health Board opportunities were established in 1963 with legislation signed by President John Kennedy. In Illinois, House Bill 708 allowed for the creation of mental health boards, which is why we often refer to them as 708 boards. Fast forward here in Will County in the fall of 2022, residents of Will County voted yes to a tax levy referendum establishing the Will County Community Mental Health Board in order to provide services locally for individuals living with mental illness, substance use disorders, and intellectual developmental disabilities. The Will County Community Mental Health Board is eager to share with you information about our grantees. Welcome to our podcast. Welcome. Today, I'm thrilled to have with us Heather Drew, the Executive Director of the Recovery Community Center of Joliet. Heather, thanks for coming in today to talk a little bit about your facility. It's still a pretty new operation. So I think, although folks have been working to create this facility and prepare for a little bit of time, but so let's talk about that a little bit. How the evolution of the Recovery Community Center of Joliet. How did it get started?
Yes, so in 2023, Dr. Kathleen Burke with the Will County Health Department had recognized the importance of integrating mental health with substance use disorders and realized the importance of the community having a recovery community center.
Nice.
So she was able, with the help of the Will County Health Department, to get started a recovery community center in Joliet.
Okay.
Now known as the Recovery Community Center of Joliet. Okay. And from October of 2023 until September of 2024, when we officially opened our doors, there was a lot of renovating going on to the building.
Okay.
We had to renovate backspace for a private meeting room, space for private showers for folks, and a computer resource lab. The building was very run down in the community.
Okay.
So it was nice to be able to turn that into something positive now in the community.
Nice. And you're located on South Chicago Street?
Yes,
right?
180 South Chicago Street.
Okay.
Right next to the Peggy and Ozzie Mitchell Center.
Which used to be the Peter Claver Center.
Yes.
Most of us still recognize it. And I think that building was a currency exchange.
It
actually
was.
At some point. Okay. So lots of renovation required. So we get to September 2024, which is not that long, not even a year ago.
No.
And so you open your doors with what kind of services were occurring at that point?
So when we first opened our doors in September of last year, we were offering drop-in services open to anybody, free for the public. Those included our private showers services, our clothing closet, professional clothing, and regular clothing as well, and our computer resource lab, and a lot of peer-led services.
Okay.
So we could help participants create resumes, look for jobs, find more secure housing, get help with link cards, doctors, insurance.
Okay.
And then also come in and take a shower and get clean clothes.
Right.
And that helps change everybody's attitude and how they feel about themselves.
Okay.
So that was a huge plus for the community.
Okay. So that idea that before we can really work on recovery, we sort of have to build that foundation of like you said, having clean clothes. That they call them the social determinants of mental health. Making sure people have clothing and food, and worrying about some of those other core issues. It sounds like, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's hard for people to come in unhoused or just struggling with mental health issues to even recognize the substance use disorder. So when we can really get them cleaned up, feeling good about themselves, get them either some hot coffee or some water to cool down, some food. Then they're open to sitting down and talking.
Maybe having a conversation.
Correct. They feel like they can trust the facility, trust the organization, trust the people in it, and they keep coming back for services then.
Okay. All right. So then fast forward a little bit. You just celebrated a official grand opening.
Yes. So in June, the beginning of June, we held our official grand opening. We have been running our drop-in services since September still, but in June we had our grand opening. We had about 30 different organizations and non-for-profits come out, and we did our ribbon cutting ceremony and was able to
Nice.
give everybody in the community a walkthrough tour of our facility.
Okay. So how have the services developed? Are there I think you mentioned peer support.
Mhm.
Are those a little bit more intense now, a little more organized? How have services sort of evolved?
Yes. So today, especially our peer support services have expanded tremendously, all thanks to the 708
Okay.
Will County Mental Health Board and the grant that we received
All right.
for our peer recovery support services with our Day 29 program.
Okay. So I'm really eager to hear more about that.
Yes. So with that, we were able to instantly hire on two recovery coaches, or they're known as peer recovery support specialists, and they are able to work one-on-one with clients that are living in Will County. Either they're coming out of a treatment center, or they're transitioning to sober living, or they are walking in and need help one-on-one.
Okay.
So one of our main programs that we're able to offer now is our Day 29 program. And we have partnerships with two different sober living houses in Will County and Stepping Stones Treatment Center as well.
Okay.
So we're able to go into Stepping Stones before the men and women even leave the 28-day treatment program.
Okay.
And introduce ourselves. The recovery coaches come with as well. So we sit down and talk to them, let them know about all the services we offer and the ability to work one-on-one with a recovery coach. So since we've had our two recovery coaches, Natasha and Jeff, on staff, we have had way more clients. We have about 30 active participants that
Nice.
meet once a week regularly with the recovery coach. And they come in, a lot of them come in with no ID, no job, no resume, sometimes no clothing,
No support.
no support.
Right.
A lot of people that we work with do not have any family support. They've burned every bridge that they have.
Sure.
And so to see them sit down with somebody with lived experience, because that is a big thing that we offer, is that everybody in our facility has lived experience. So to have them sit down with somebody that they feel like understands and isn't judging them, we found they open up very quickly and are able to trust the support specialist that they're working with.
It's so important. I think we should make a note that it's so important that when people with mental illness and or substance use disorders engage in services, and then they leave those services with no long-term plan or no additional support, they return to the environment that ended up putting them in a position where they needed those services in the first place, right?
Yeah.
So this is really the right way to do it. That warm handoff from services at Stepping Stones or the hospital or other programs.
Yeah.
And then a connection, making that connection with a person, like you said, with lived experience, who isn't judgmental, understands, and also can provide that role model of hope that no, people do recover, people do better, right? So awesome. Continue.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just think that's really important.
And it has been great because I think making that connection too, right when you get out of treatment or the hospital, you feel like somebody cares about me and I want to keep coming back and somebody's going to hold me accountable. Somebody's checking in on me. I can't just disappear because somebody's going to call me and be like, you missed your appointment. Where were you?
Right.
And it also does give them a sense of belonging, not just with the recovery coach, but when they come in there, there's always other people in there with lived experience that don't work for us. There's volunteers. There's other people in there working on different things on the computer, or maybe just came in to get some coffee. So they're surrounded by people that are going through what they're going through.
Sure.
And we also hold a lot of workshops, different workshops. We do what we've done in the past. We've done a financial literacy, expungement workshops, and we do events, about 2 to 3 events, social events for the community every month. And that allows everyone to come together, meet other people in the community, and build that connection.
And practice their skills, practice their social skills, engaging in the community with others in a sober environment, right?
Yeah.
Being able to practice being successful. Sometimes it's not easy.
No.
That's not easy. But they're practicing in an environment where they know they're safe and there's a lot of support for them. One of the elements of the grant that I was really super excited about, and every time I see you, we talk about this. I know you know what I'm talking about. The ability to get mail.
Yes.
I think we overlook that. We take it for granted that, oh yeah, I got to empty the mailbox, but not having an address, not having an opportunity to get mail. What kind of difference does that make for a person?
So it gives them a sense of identity. Like, I can receive my ID somewhere, my link card somewhere. I can receive any important notifications to a mailbox. And it is something that we definitely take for granted when participants come in and they're like, well, I need a new ID, but I don't have anywhere for it to be mailed.
Right.
They're able to use our address. We're able to help them and even give them a homeless voucher so they can go straight to the DMV and have it sent to our address.
Oh, nice.
And
apply for a job.
Right.
It's humiliating to try to apply for a job and not have an address for the application. So I think that makes a big difference too.
Yeah, it does. And we've had situations too where some people do have a house, but they live with people that steal their things. Correct. Right. So there have been a couple people recently, especially, that have been extremely grateful that they have a safe place now that they can get important documents sent to. Nice. That they've held off for years now because they were afraid of what was going to happen if it got in the wrong hands. Sure.
Okay, so sounds like you've got a steady flow of traffic.
Yes.
What's sort of the plan? As you look forward, what's some of the goals that you have in mind?
So a lot of our goals is to expand our Day 29 program, just because that has gained a lot of momentum and a lot of interest from other treatment centers that recognize the importance of bridging that gap, like we talked about, between treatment and long-term recovery.
Okay.
And so that's really what we want to focus on, is bridging the gap between services and transportation. So, also because of the 708 Mental Health Board, we are able to get a vehicle, which is a huge deal because I would say 80% of our participants do not drive and cannot get to important appointments, cannot even get to the DMV on their own.
Sure.
And we can help with bus passes and Ubering, but there is a different sense of independence when you can get a ride from a friend, which is essentially their recovery coach.
Right.
But we're able to transport people. So we want to expand our transportation services as well to really get a schedule going for people to get to all of their appointments, where they don't have to necessarily be taking the bus and transferring 5 times to get across town.
Sure. And I love, you've mentioned a few other organizations, great collaboration. I think that is always the key to success.
Yes.
Because one organization just can't do it all. So to link with people who have some area of expertise. So, which brings me to your relationship with the Second Story Foundation. Talk a little bit about the collaboration with those folks.
Yes. So with the Second Story Foundation, and that's the recovery ranch, we are able to take clients out there to do community service hours.
Okay.
And it's different in the aspect that they're not just going there and washing dishes or sweeping the floor or mopping. They're going there in an environment on a horse ranch where they're giving horses baths. They're out in nature. They're cleaning up stalls. They're doing rewarding work. And we've been able to take a few participants out there. Volunteers have driven them out there. But when we can get a group of people together to get out there, they are going to also hold meetings for them. They'll
Right.
do food, community service, a meeting, more community service, and then we'll be able to take them back to Joliet to our facility
Okay.
so they can complete their hours giving back, feeling really good. The feedback is that everyone that's gone there to do community service hours has wanted to go back even when they didn't have to do any more community
Okay.
service hours.
All right. Well, and it's not equine therapy. It's not a clinical
Correct.
involvement, but there's just something about the horses.
Yes.
I've been out there a couple times, and you almost have this sense of calm that when you're interacting with the horses, and it really does make a difference in your spirit when you're spending some time out there, spending the day. And like you said, a person that hasn't had an opportunity of late to have that sense of purpose, that I'm making a difference here. I'm helping these animals, and it's really a neat opportunity.
Yeah, it's been very rewarding for our participants that have gone out there.
And then and we'll talk to them in a future podcast.
Sure.
But I know that the idea of being able to, again, develop those skills towards employment is a goal for those folks, and the recovery support model, and then being able to develop those skills and become employed in the community, I think, is a good cycle.
Yes, and I was just going to mention it's really us being able to provide all of those like wraparound services. So it's not just clothing, it's not just a job, it's not just housing, it's really everything. And from resume to interviews to job building skills,
Right.
to communication, to socializing.
And maybe even help with transportation as you get started in employment, right?
Right. So it's the full circle, anything. And if somebody comes in and we can't help them with something, it's not just, oh, well, here's this phone number, call this person. We walk them through, we get them connected ourselves.
Okay.
We help them and see through the whole process with them. Because we have found that it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
It is overwhelming when you have to do a million things, make a million phone calls. You can't get through to anybody. So we kind of stick with our participants through the whole way. We see everything through.
Nice. So Heather, let's talk a little bit about your involvement. How did you become involved with the Recovery Community Center of Joliet?
Sure. So I have been running sober living homes, solid ground sober living out in Joliet since about 2012 now, so a little over 10 years.
Okay.
And we have one female house and 3 men's sober living houses currently. And I had been working closely with Dr. Burke in the maybe previous 5 years. They were helping also fund residents' fees when they moved in.
Okay.
So they didn't have to worry about finances when they moved into sober living. And so we had built that relationship between sober living and the Will County Health Department. And then when there was an opportunity to be on the board of directors for the Recovery Community Center, I was asked to come just because of my connections in the community,
Okay.
My knowledge with
recovery,
a lot of lived experience as well.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I got brought into the Recovery Community Center.
Okay. All right. So the board was active for a little bit before the establishment of the facility, right?
Yes.
For recovery services in general throughout the community affiliated with the Will County Health Department.
Yes, and the board was established, and the Recovery Community Center was essentially established as a recovery community organization first.
Okay, all right.
So, and as a RCO, a recovery community organization, there doesn't have to be a standalone location because you can help and offer peer support without having a building.
Okay,
So,
right,
you know,
right.
it was running like that until we finally
Okay,
finished the building.
okay.
And then it was able to actually be a recovery community center.
So again, kudos to Dr. Burke and the Will County Health
Yes.
Department. They really recognize, and I love talking about this, how that we really are devoted now to that concept of integrated care. That
Yes.
it's not, oh, mental health goes this way and substance use goes this way. That they're so intimately linked that it's
Yes.
important that we treat and provide those support services in that fashion as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. And having been in the sober living community out in Joliet, specifically for the past 12 years, I do realize that, you know, a decade ago, it was either a focus on mental health or a focus on substance use.
Sure.
And that was great. We were focusing on something, but you focus on substance use and then mental health is left untreated. Or you focus on mental health and the substance use is left untreated. And so it's like you made progress, but then you're taking 5 steps back.
You see that
Right.
the cyclical nature of mental health.
Yes.
In order to reduce that or intervene in that cycle, it really needs to both be addressed.
Yeah. So addressing them together, hand in hand, as one, not as 2 separate things, but as mental health and substance use together, we're able to not be taking steps backwards
Right.
as we're trying to keep moving forwards. We're
Right.
addressing everything.
Wonderful. So I've been to your facility a couple times.
Yeah.
I feel like you've already outgrown it.
Yeah,
You're really busy. It's
Yes.
such a neat environment, and like you said, it's sort of a one-stop shop. You
Yeah.
know, if a person can get themselves there,
Mhm.
then that the folks with lived experience can, you know, start to kind of work at education, awareness, providing those support services,
Yeah.
and again, in creating an environment where the person feels safe.
Right.
That can't be easy for a person that's unhoused or isn't feeling well mentally or
Yeah.
physically. So again, that's a tall order, but you folks are doing a great job over there.
Yeah, thank you. And I think it does, like I said earlier, it does take time building up those relationships. And by providing the shower, that does continue to bring a lot of people back in the door on a weekly basis.
Okay.
And when we see a lot of the same continued participants, we're able to, on their terms, meet them where they are.
Right.
And slowly get to know them and see kind of where they are instead of just coming at them with all this information
Right.
at once and
Right.
scaring them
Here's
away.
what you should do.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So we've built a lot of relationships in that sense to be able to, like I said, meet people where they're at instead of expecting them to be right at the top where we are.
Right.
So
Right. Well, the 708 board is thrilled to be a partner in your work, and we can't wait to see what the growth and what happens going forward. Do you have any final thoughts?
Just we are so grateful for the Will County Health Department's getting us started at the Recovery Community Center, and for 708 for helping us to develop these new programs, our transportation, our peer support, to be able to work one-on-one with more participants. It's allowed us to have more events. We offer free haircuts, HIV testing, women's healthy relationship groups.
Nice.
With Guardian Angel, we host that with them. So we're really able to work on our collaborations because we can offer more wraparound services now and really focus on the individual and what they need.
So again, once you have the trust of the person, collaborating with some of those other services, you're able to sort of expand the opportunities that they receive while they're, with you. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us today, and we'll talk soon.